it's Iain from Artio here. Welcome to the penultimate Then and Now, because as you know, in May we are changing our show on Thursdays, thing called Battle of the Debutantes. So today, I wanted to get this band in somewhere, because they've got one of the most bizarre histories in rock music. We're talking about Opeth. Now they're a really good Swedish progressive metal band, but they started off as more death metal, thrashy speed metal, and they sort of just turned it around, and it's got the most bizarre start to their career. So they were formed in 1989 by lead vocalist David Eisberg, and the group then they sort of started playing in the bars and the clubs. Then they went through several personnel changes, including every single original member, notably David Eisberg himself in 1992. And you go, what's going on here? And the thing is, in 1989, Eisberg actually invited Mikael Alderfeldt to join Opeth, and it was sort of the what happened to the band. They all got rid of everybody. So by the time their first album came out, there was no original member of the band that formed in 1989. It's just a bizarre situation. So by the time they got round to releasing an album, they'd had more band changes before they even got off the ground as their recording life. So their first album that came out in 1995 was called Orchid. On here now we've got Mikael Alderfeldt, Peter Lindgren on guitars, Mikael Ackerfeldt plays guitar and vocals, Anders Nordin on the drums, Johan de Fala on bass, additional musicians on here, Stefan Gilkent, and the production was done by the band itself. Okay, the first track on here is a track called In the Mist She Was Standing. The guitars are great, everything sounds great, and then we get this thing that, now I don't like this at all in any metal, growly vocal. I can't understand a damn word they're saying, and it totally ruins it. I haven't got this album. It's a shame, because musically it's really good. Under the Weeping Moon, everything's great. Musically, the guitar work is fantastic, the drumming's fantastic, and then we get that nah, I can't get it. Then we get my favourite piece on the album. It's called Silhouette. It's an instrumental. It's a really nice piece of guitar work and piano work. I love it. I really love that piece of music. It's fantastic. Forest of October. Again, it's a long track. It's got lots of nice guitar works. I mean, I've sat and listened to this purely to get an idea of the musically. It's brilliant, but again, I just don't like that growly singing. Well, I don't think it's singing personally. I know there's a lot of you guys that love that sort of thing, but for me it doesn't do nothing for me. But then we get a track called Twilight Is My Robe, and this is a really good track. There's a lot of proper singing in this one, and there is a little bit of growling, but on the whole, I like it. It's a good track. You can see there's progressive metal sound in there because there's some great guitar licks, but when he starts growling like a Nathaniel old man, that's when it starts to get to me. Then we have Requiem, a bit of acoustic music, nice acoustic guitars, very nice. The Apostle in Triumph, the guitar work is fantastic in here. Some great licks and little rushes of guitar, and I have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with the vocal, of course. Into the Frost of Winter, there's nothing on here that actually comprehends music. I'm sorry if you're going, oh, you Opeth friends of old, but unfortunately Iain does not like that sort of thing. What do I think of this album? Well, I think the musicians on this are pretty good. They do a great job. The guitar work is fantastic. The drumming is really good. But I could never get round the growl instead of singing. It's a shame, because if you get these actual singing vocals, this would be a fantastic debut album. But the growling to me just does nothing for me, and I don't own this album, and I don't think I ever will. It's okay me going on about it, but what did the professionals, so-called professionals, think of it? John Sherper. There's not many about. From AllMusic said Opeth's debut album Orchid was quite audacious release, far beyond the epic prog death monstrosity, excelling equal parts of beauty and brutality. An album so brilliant, that so navel-gazing pretentious, that in retrospect Opeth's future greatness was a foregone conclusion. I agree with that, because there was that stuff in there. Metal Review says their debut album still feels like a band who haven't found their voice yet. Yeah, he literally. And he did say that Mikkel's beastly roars are a little higher than closer to a shriek at this point. Yes. So there's not. I don't know what it did in the charts because I couldn't find anything. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of Orchid. Song quality. Musically, I can say that the songs are well structured, but I'd love to know what they're singing about. So, and I'm going to give that 3 out of 5. Production. There's still lots to do. There are, a band in progress. It sounds pretty good, but the vocal bit, even if you're into that roary stuff, as it was pointed out in the reviews, it's a little bit high and shrieky, which is something they had to work on. So for production, I'm going to give it another 3 out of 5. Reception. Now, I can't remember this album coming out, but little reading through the reviews, it got sort of a mixed reception, so I'm going to give that again another 3 out of 5. So it's all the 3s today for Orchid, giving it a total of 9 out of 15. Let's crank up the time machine and go 24 years on, and we end up in 2019 for the 13th album. Now it's in Latin, so my Latin is not very good. In Cauda Venenum. If you watch the thing tonight, I'll find out exactly how to say it, which actually means poison in the tail. It's a pretty cool album cover, which you'll find out in a few weeks' time, because I am going to do a album artwork, because I think their artwork's pretty impressive. Okay, so the album was the last album that we'd have with drummer Martin Rock on it. So we got Mikael Alderfelt on vocals as ever. Got a guitarist called Fredrik Ackerson. Martin Annersrott on the drums, Martin Menendez on bass, and Joachim Salverberg on keyboards. Produced by Mr. Dave Stewart. Okay, first track on here is A Garden of Earthly Delights. What a moving piece of music. Really eerie. I love this track. Absolutely brilliant. Dignity. I love this song. This proves that Mikael can sing. He's got a fantastic singing voice, and I love that. There's a nice little acoustic piece in this, and it's lovely. It's a well put together track. Heart in Hand. This is brilliant. The interplay between the two guitars is fantastic. It's everything you expect from progressive metal, and Mikael's vocal is so strong on this track. Next of Kin. Love that keyboard sound on this. There's just something about Scandinavian keyboard players. They really know how to get the nice tones. It's an amazing track. Love it to bits. Lovelorn Crime. This is a slow track with that lovely piano that you get in progressive metal songs. Mikael's voice is just so strong on that fantastic track. Charlatan, solid track, great riffs, some nice effects on the keyboards, great drumming on this. It's that lovely rich double bass. Universal Truth. This is my favourite track on the album. It's dramatic. You've got some real heavy guitar work, and then it goes very quiet, nice and atmospheric in places. The Garroter is an amazing track. Guitar solo on that is fantastic. Continuum. It's an all-round progressive metal track. Lots of shredding. What more can you ask for? All Things Will Pass. This is very progressive rock, more than metal. Some great bass in this. It's just a terrific track. The drumming is out of this world. What a way to end the album. I love this album. I play it a hell of a lot. It's one of my favourite albums of 2019. Everything is so much better than when they started. We got the beginnings of them musically, but the vocal now is just pure singing, and Mikael is a fantastic progressive metal singer. So I love it. So what did the old critics think? Well, it went down very well. The album received a score of 10 out of 10 from the Wall of Sound, who stated it was the best album the band has ever created in their prog area. And Loudwire named it one of their best metal albums of 2019. AllMusic gave it nearly 4 3/4 stars. Consequential Sound gave it an A. NME gave it 4. Pop Matters gave it a 10 out of 10. The Quietus had a favourable review, and Sputnik Music 3.7 out of 5. Did well in the charts as well. Swedish charts got to number 12. Got to the number 13 in the UK and 59 on the Billboard. So what's the nuts and bolts about this one? Song quality. There's some great songs, some great writing, full of mystique and reality and everything. So I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. Production. This is beautifully produced. Sound is clear and crystal. We'll play it to death. I just love listening to this under headphones. So I'm going to give this 5 out of 5. Reception. It was received well by everybody, especially in the UK. We loved it. They loved it in Sweden, of course. but some of the other countries couldn't get round it. On the whole, the reviews by the magazines thought it was okay. So I'm going to give it a reception of 4 out of 5. So giving this album a total of 14 out of 15. So today's winner is, by a long way today, is in Cauda Venenum. It's their most current album, which is excellent. Okay then, let's have a quick look at their little career. So in 1996 we had Morningrise. Mikael Elderfelt was on it, Peter Lindgren, John DeFola, Anders Norin. Again, there's just lots of grunts on here. So we've got Advent, The Night of the Silent Water, Nectar. Great music, awful lyrics and singing. Black Rose Immortal, this is brilliant. Even though some of the vocals are a bit in places, but it's just got some great guitar solos on it. Really like it. And then To Bid You Farewell is a great track because Mikael's actually singing it and it's got some nice guitar work on it. Really good track. Okay, 1998 we had My Arms Your Hearse. First album with a new drummer, Martin Lopez, who was a friend of, who had a friend called Martin Mendez, and they brought him in on bass. So we got Michael Ackelfett on vocals and guitars, Peter Lindgren guitars, Martin Lopez on drums, and Martin Mendez on the bass guitar. First thing is Prologue. It's a nice little bit of guitar. April at Ethereal isn't too bad. You can sort of understand what he's saying. When is a great track because he's actually singing on it. Great guitar work. The Amen, they got Mandaral, the Amen Corner, got great guitar solos on it. Demon the Fool, don't understand what he's saying. Credence, he's got a wonderful vocal on this, I like it. Karma, can't understand a damn word that's going on there. Nice arrangement. Epilogue, this is an instrumental, it is brilliant. Wonderful piece of music, great guitar riffs, great drumming, lovely keyboard swells, lovely. Okay, 1999, Still Life. Mikael Elderfelt, Peter Lindgren, Martin Mendez and Martin Lopez. The more, oh dear. Again, it's musically you can listen to it, but the vocals just grunts and growls. They're a lot deeper now, but they still incoherent. God's Head's Lament. Oh dear. Again, I love listening to the music. I just wish I could just take all the vocals out. Benighted, brilliant song, because you can actually hear Mikael singing. Great song. Moonlapse Vertigo. This is a mixture of grunting and singing, so I can sort of tolerate that one. Face of Melinda, very good track. Lovely vocal. Then we go into some really awkward stuff that is Serenity Painted Death. Great arrangement, bad singing. White Cluster the same. Great arrangement. I can't understand what he's singing about. 2001 then. Blackwater Park. Mikael Elderfelt, Peter Lindgren, Martin Mendez, Martin Lopez. Additional musician, a certain Mr. Stephen Milson from Porcupine Tree. And Marcus Lindberg is on Egg Shakers. Great effort there. The Leper Affinity, this is an amazing song. I love the piano work on that. It's brilliant. Great vocal. Bleak, another good song. There's more singing on here now. Steve Wilson's involved. They've really started to go away from the death metal. Harvest, one of my favourite songs by Opeth. I love this song. Love the vocal and love the arrangement. The Drapery Falls is another good song. Some nice guitar work on there. You can tell Steve Wilson's involved. That's all I can say. Dirge for November, great track. Okay, there's a little bit of grunting, but it's a more controlled grunting. The Funeral Portrait, still a bit of that grunt. Patterns in Ivy, it's a very short instrumental, but I love the little acoustic and piano. The title track, Blackwater Park, is fantastic. You can hear actually what he's saying, even though he's grunting. I don't mind that. If it's a grunt that you can hear the song and the lyrics, no problem with that. Pretty good. 2002 then, we had Deliverance. They released 2 albums very close to about 6 months of each other. So the first one was Deliverance. Cast a different sort of album. This is more of a heavy one. We got Mikael Algafelt, Peter Lindgren, Martin Mendez, Martin Lobus. Again, we got Steve Wilson on the Mellotron. Wreath and Deliverance, there's still a lot of grunting, but it's more controlled, but you can sort of half hear what's going on. A Fair Judgment, it's got some singing on, it's pretty good. For Absent Friends, an instrumental, pretty cool. The Master's Apprentices, it's a very good sort of track. The grunting's getting less and it's getting more melodic, and you can actually hear what Mikael's saying. Pain by the pain I see in others, not brilliant. Then a few months later we had Damnation in 2003. This is more of an acoustic-y sort of mellow album. Same people, Mikael, Peter, Martin and Martin. Window Pane is pretty good. In my Time of Need is pretty good. Death Whispered a Lullaby, written by Steve Wilson. This is, you can tell it's a great song. Love the lyrics, and Mikael sings it really well. Closure, another good song. Love the guitar solo on that one. Hope Leaves is a pretty good track. To Rid the Disease, this is brilliant. There's strings on this. Steve Wilson has got so much influence on this now. The piano's bit. Ending credits is an instrumental with some amazing guitar work. Weakness is great prog track. The Mellotron, ooh, sounds really good on there. Steve Wilson doing the business. 2005 then we get Ghost Reveries. Reveries, I don't know. My pronunciation is terrible at times. And it's not produced by Steve Wilson, but they're really getting into the groove now. New keyboard player as well, so we've got Mikael Alderfelt on vocals, guitars and mellotron, Peter Linden on the lead guitar as ever, Martin Mendez on the bass, Pierre Werberg on Hammond organ, grand piano and moog, and Martin Lopez on the drums. Ghost of Production, a mixture of growling and singing. It's not too bad. Bane of the Hounds, love the guitar work on that one, pretty good. Beneath the Mire, nice singing on that one for Mikael. Anointment, an interesting arrangement, it's got mystique in places. Reveries, Harlequin Forest, another good track where he sings properly. Hours of Wrath is a bit grunty, like the Grand Conjurer Nation. Can't spit it out today. It's okay. Isolation Years, love this track. Great vocal, great musicians. Watershed, is 2008. Change of personnel in here. Peter Lindgren's left and Martin Lopez, so they brought in Fredrik Ekson on guitar to join Mikkel, Per Werberg, Martin Mendes on the bass and Martin Axelrod on the drums. Coil. This is a great song and it features a singer called Natalie Locaris. Great duo between Natalie and Mikkel. I love that track. Hair of Parents pretty good. The Lotus Eater, sorry. Fast, furious metal, but with a great vocal. Burden, brilliant song. Great guitar work on that, fantastic. Porcelain Heart, another great progressive metal track with lots of drumming bits on it and guitars. Hessian Peel is absolutely brilliant. Love that. Hexamega, very eerie, dark, but melodic, excellent. And the next album, 2011, Heritage. Now this is the first one I actually bought. And that's the only one of 3 that I own. So on here we've got Mikkel Alkefelt guitars, guitars by Fredrik Elkson, Per Werberg on the keyboards, Martin Mendes on the bass and Martin Anarek on the drums. Lots of people popping in and out here. We've got Alex Acuna percussion, Bjorn Lindeth on the flute, Joachim Salvberg on grand piano and Charlie Dodd with some sound effects. Heritage has got some nice piano, it's just an instrumental. The Devil's Orchid, I love this. This is very proggy. Got some great guitar work. Love the Hammond organ on this. That comes about 3/4 of the way through. Brilliant track. I Feel the Dark, great prog trot. Brilliant. Slither, really good. Netpathine, very good. Hack's Process, another great track with lots of little textures and on the guitar, very proggy. Famine, just great progressive metal. The Lines in My Hand, love the drums and bass on this, absolutely brilliant. Folklore, another good track. Marrow of the Earth, instrumental, just full of lovely textures. Okay, 2014, yes, another album I own, Pale Communion. By now Pierre's gone off the keyboards and they have brought in Joachim Salvberg. So it's the same lineup without but with Joachim on the keyboards. Eternal Rounds Will Come. I love this. This is proper proggy metal. It's brilliant. One of the best tracks I've ever done. Cups of Eternity, another stunning track. Moon Above, Sun Below, epic, wonderful track. Elysian Woes, it's got some flute in this. It's very Jethro Tull in places with that flute. Really good track. Goblin, a nice instrumental. Rivers, just full of rich Hammond organ. Brilliant. Voice of Treason. My favourite track on this album. This could have been done by any of the great prog bands of the 70s. It's just so technical. Faith in Others is a stunning track. 2016, Sorceress, another album that I own. I owned 4. I thought I owned 3, but it's 4. We got Mikkel Elderfelt, Fredrik Andersson, Joachim Salvberg, Martin Mendes and Martin Ansrop. Persona, very good little short piece. Sorceress, this is really good progressive metal. Great licks, great drumming, brilliant track. The Wildflowers, another really good track. Then Will of the Wisp, this is very Jethro Tull, and I love it. Brilliant track. Chrysalis, solid track. Sorceress 2, It's more acoustic than the first Sorceress on this album, but still very good. The Seventh Sojourn, wonderful melody that is. Strange Brew, nothing to do with cream, but it's a fantastic track. A Fleeting Glance, it's got some of that Renaissance-y, like Blackmore's Night sort of thing. Nice track. Era, great prog metal track, I love it. Then we get Persona, Slight Return. That's a little bit of music. Well, that's their career. I'm more in their later albums. Their last 4 albums have just been brilliant because you've just got proper singing on it. I'm not a great fan of their early stuff, and I don't think I ever will. I think if I did a full album ranking of this, they would sit at the bottom without doubt, and then it'd be a fight for the top place because all the 4 albums I got, I love them all equally. Interesting band, for strange career they've had, but I hope they never go back to the grunts because I think they're a Mikael Oldefeld, whatever his name is a really good singer. Okay, that's all for this week on that one. Then and now, one more to do before we change shows. We'll be back later though with album artwork. It's a very short one this week because I've got things to do, people to see, etc. We're looking at the albums of American rock band Boston. I've got to go do something, and then I'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight with a live stream. Raring to go on that one. Always looking forward to that. Really good night. So if you've never joined us, come and join us, or watch one of the live stream videos that's on the channel. I will see you later. Bye for now.